Good morning, everyone. I've got privilege to be on the stage and discuss during technological discussions, even though I'm not the technological guy. And I will not talk to you about technology today, or maybe I will not talk about technology as such. I'm representing Echo Investment Group as a board member responsible for residential. And what I will try to tell you today about technology, I will try to tell you about the job we do, the aspiration we are today having in front of us is about cities. And if you think about technology, you can be really obsessed about the speed, technicalities, Internet of Things, Internet of Everything, which is actually running our life today in every single element. But what I strongly believe that was inspiration for today, that we are here not just to be obsessed only by technology. Of course, we need to accept the fact that we need to learn, we need to contribute to that. But I think with technologies, our mission as a real estate developer, but also those who want to join this journey, is just to create a better life. This statement of Mayor of Panama was done actually in the moment that he was signing the agreement for Panama City with one of the tech giants. And he was really believing technology is there, technology is needed, but we need to create a better life. With that being said, what I really want to ask you is just to imagine why we are in need of technology. Imagine someone who is very personal, very important challenge of her life. It's a disease, illness, which is a color blindness. These are the people who have chance to see the colors of the world, but they have the problem to distinguish them in a very accurate way. And imagine yourself that you are born with that limitation. Then technology is coming to the stage. You've got engineers who are working on that. And what they invented the glasses. The glasses, they look completely the same. But they are solving that problem in a way that you can see the world in the way how the others are seeing. You can distinguish exactly the color coding of everything that is surrounding you. Also, with those who are close to you. Here I would like to
look at your kids' eyes, Petey.
A small movie about people who are just wearing the glasses for the first time in their life.
Look at the towel and desk.
See their reactions, see their emotions, and this is really the moment in their life that technology solves their problem. And irrespectively of the age, the emotions are really deep. Without the meaning, technology is just great achievement of human mind. Still, I strongly believe that we can apply it to every day, every solution to any problem we face. And with that philosophy, Echo Investment wants to do the projects that we name destination places. Destination places are the projects where you put all the activities of Echo in one place. This is residential, this is office, this is retail, but these are also the common places. They are interacting between those buildings. And what we want to do, we want to use this technology to prepare the part of the cities for better functioning from the people perspective. With that being said, let me just invite you to my childhood where I was a fan of cartoon. The Jetsons family was created in 1962 just to conceive the world 100 years from that time. Those guys, they had families, they had problems, they had jobs, friends. Also, they had dogs. And if you remember that movie, that was part of my childhood. I believe you remember, they were flying to work. And my question is it not possible what we have seen during our childhood time, or younger times, I would say? And that time we thought it's science fiction. Today we believe this is the document, or the things that we believe are just coming to our places. They're already the bars with the robots. So it's a future, it's a home. I think we are almost there. Another snapshot of the past, this is our capital, it's Warsaw. and now I will touch the magic button. This is today. I think a lot of us contributed to that picture. A lot of us invented those buildings, those areas, those technology that contributed to the picture of today. Is it the smart city already? I think in a lot of aspects, yes, but we have another step to be done. Now I invite you to my city, which is not Warsaw. My city is Łódź. And my city a few years ago looked almost like this. Maybe a little bit worse, I would say even. And that time, I remember the big discussions, what would be the next step. And then the big construction started. And we all witnessed the big change in the central part of Łódź that was turned into very discussed, very much questioned railway station. And we know that this is not the end. This is just the beginning. And we see that situation on the left-hand side. This is the image of Łódź today, but there are already certain plans to do it. Next steps, next steps, next steps, and create is the smart city. I don't know, let's have a reflection about it. And the other things which is absolutely important for us to understand, and I think you will see these numbers, and those numbers may be different in every presentation because those numbers, they are growing every day. The number of interconnected devices. Those buildings, they are equipped because they are designed with the technology, they are built with the technology, they will be maintained with the technology. And those technologies are helping for those buildings to create value for people. And I think this is not a mistake, this is just a stage. Professor Simon Yoss, who is a university professor from Westminster, he said that it was kind of a mistake that the first real estate development were just integrating as much technology as it is possible just for the sake of technology. And he said that maybe we should think a little bit differently. Don't look for the users of the technology. Look for the solutions that those technology may bring to those who are having the problems. And to build on that, I think we are also facing, and this is phenomena we see all around the world. People are going to the cities. People are looking for the better life. People are looking for their chances, opportunities for education, for anything that you don't find anywhere else. And the people per number of per square meter will grow and are growing every day. And I think it's really up to us how we prepare the cities to host those people and to create value for them. With that being said, I had the privilege last week to sit with Daniel Libeskind. By the way, he's from Łódź as well. And he said to me, Waldek, this is not about really creating the buildings. Architecture, by the way, is a funny stuff because you don't really know till it's done and people are entering between the buildings. This is really the moment you feel that you did something great. And he said, when you put people together, when you gather them, you give them the chance to interact and invent. And this is one of the role of the real estate developer, I strongly believe as well, in a sense of smart city. That you make people meet, you give them the chance to understand each other, and you create the culture. And the culture can drive and boost, really, the economy. With that being said, I was also looking for definition of smart city, and by the way, this morning I just tapped into Google, what is the smart city? 45 million hints. I think it's really up to us how we want to define the smart city for ourselves, for Poland, for Warsaw, for Łódź, for any city we are busy with. So with that being said, I'm coming back to destination place, to the emotions. This is our concept, and I encourage the whole team also and aspire the next steps, how we can use technology together. I'm from residential. I do the business, which is a little bit different compared to what I was doing before, because before I was doing B2B. Although I strongly believe business to business is really people to people, it's really about listening or creating and working together. But let's start with the residential. Residential is a part of destination places where we also decided to introduce technology for better life. And with that being said, if you want to introduce something which is bringing the value, you first ask the question, what is the real value for your customer? And we started to look for different areas of needs, different values that we should bring, and we really end up with the values like safety, like thermal comfort, like lighting comfort. And I think with no further to say, this is our mission, how in a smart way we can contribute to smart living conditions. And now, a little bit Jetsons-like, the camera. Standard camera is just to keeping the best moments of your life and memorizing them for you, for your close friends, for your families. Today, camera may help you to keep you safe, to keep you peace in mind for your family. When you are there, when you are not there, you can monitor whatever you want. Think about light. Before, it was really about safety almost at night, not to bump into something when you wake up during the night. Today, you can steer your mood with the light. You can help yourself to be more efficient, to be calm. It's up to you. You can use also a lot of good researches how to support your good and well stay at any place you want with the technology that can be used in residential. When I was student time, it was always the biggest party was in the kitchen. I think you face it very often, that you are sitting in the kitchen and the best part of the party was in the kitchen. Today, apart from storing the food, you may have the entertainment center. You may have the place where you plan your day, when you plan your cooking, but at the same time you can steer the whole music from one place. And this is a little bit what technology may bring as a value to your home. With that being said, I will not go in detail for the locking. I will invite you for the cartoon that actually was mine preferred compared to Jetsons. These are Flintstones. Flintstones family and the Jetsons family were to a certain extent the same. And I think we, as people living in modern cities, whether they are smart cities, I don't know, we're facing quite similar problems. And we are sitting here, we are having the chance not only to listen to each other, not only to say, this presentation was good, this presentation was less good, or this presentation was brilliant. But I think what is extremely important, I hope technology will help me to go for the next slide and the last one. Dear friends from the top, it's actually at the end of the day, sitting together, listening to each other, having a chance to do something that reminds me a quote from a person who, I think he was from WD-40. If you don't do something for the first time, you don't make the innovation. So let's try to break the silos and don't feel obsessed only with your own technology, with your own sector, and try to think about the smart city in a way of the value we can bring to society, to people they are living in. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You guys have really taken quite enthusiastically to this idea of asking questions. The producers in the back room are having a hard time picking the right ones, and we don't have all day, unfortunately, so we'll be able to pick maybe 2 or 3 every time, and we'll see them down here in a second. But the thing that interests me, well, here's the thing that interests a hell of a lot of other people. My God, this is long. Can you guys read this? Can you read this?
I can.
You read that. There's no point me reading it, is there?
Developers usually are hesitant to invest in sustainability as the savings on a higher capex are benefits for the tenants. I think, first of all, I think we've got the leaders in this room who are investing a lot of money. And sustainability is always the question about the payback. It's not really about getting the payback tomorrow, but maybe in the longer term. And if you put the social costs, sustainability pays off. That's for sure. The models, you cannot really talk only about the short-term perspective. You need to talk about the long-term perspective. And respectively, whether you call it sustainable building or smart building, You're just creating the value which is using technology, and the new technology, for me, in my understanding of the new technologies, are sustainable by definition. So you can go for LEED, you can go for BREEAM, you can go for any other certification, but if you do it with the perspective of the long term, you will end up with the better product. The question is how much courage you have to introduce the new things and how you plan those innovation in the long term, in the short term, also how you are open for experiments.
Now, are we not seeing a situation, though, where the industry traditionally has concentrated on return on investment as the overriding principle?
And they are, and they will be.
But are we not seeing a situation where some players are now realizing that the context is broader and that they need to think about things other than merely ROI, and they will end up being the leaders in the space, and everybody else will still be just counting beans?
I think trying something new, it's always needed. To do something new, you always need a better context. Managing by context that today is growing also by the fact that the borders of the sectors are really smashed. We are no longer only real estate. We are no longer only digital. We are no longer only heating, security, whatsoever. We are really producing the value. We are producing the experience. So with that being said, that context gives you the opportunity also to calculate differently your investments. But the big role of the investors, those who are trying, is also the education by this kind of event, but also education the shareholders. Because to a certain extent, they are giving yes or no to whatever crazy ideas we are bringing to the table. So those kind of ideas need to comply with certain activities to make it happen, just to click.
Very well. Can we have the next question, please? It's coming, it's coming.
And then the end, if I just ask our friends on the top who are the guru of technology, if we can replay Flintstones. We are really working hard with my Echo team, and they were really proud, and actually it was great fun to make this presentation, because it was really fun.
You got to have the Flintstones, I mean, come on.
Sorry?
We got to have the Flintstones. While we're waiting for the next question, the definitions are always the source of perhaps tension and misunderstanding. And the word sustainability to a lot of people carries a certain load of connotations of meaning. What if we were to use a different word?
I think words are a great meaning, and they are called for action. Because very often, if you call sustainable only green, you limit yourself to definitions that, I don't want to say are obsolete, but in some way, you need to give really the explanation what you mean by sustainability.
Well, you say sustainability and people think tree huggers. Whereas actually, if you say sustainability, or maybe call it something else.
Sustainability is also the fact that actually I didn't mention is Professor Yoss from Westminster University. He said that if you put enough effort to create the good environment in sustainable way, also with the technology and the value you create, you also prepare society for the next wave of the new things to come. So sustainable way of thinking is also how you prepare the group of the people who are taking the advantage of technology to be open, to be agile. And that gives you the chance to grow society without, okay, revolutions are needed also from the technological point of view, but the awareness of the change must be there as a part of sustainability definition.
It begins with the mindset.
Absolutely, it starts with ourselves.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Waldemar Olbryk, unfortunately,